we all know, the people that do know me know that I do like to talk a lot, but
just a little bit,
just a lot. Yeah. This podcast can't contain this amount of talking, but we'll find out. We'll find out. But
welcome to the Eagle Network Podcast, where business networking meets success. Sponsored by Eagle Pest Solutions, your once-a-year pest control solution in Palm Coast, St. Augustine, and Ormond Beach. Safer, better, less intrusive pest control. Got bugs? No one likes bugs. Come soar with us. Call today at 386-445-7414 for a free inspection and quote. That's 386-445-7414. Now here's your host, Brad Ward.
Hey, it's Brad with the Eagle Network Podcast. Welcome today. Thaddeus Smith is the sound engineer and co-host.
Hey, folks.
hey.
And we have a very special guest today. He's the branch manager of Trustco Bank, Palm Coast, and he is one of the best networkers that I know. Phenomenal networker. Vincent, Vinny, Amore. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Brad. It's a pleasure to be on, and of course, the first person that I networked with when I got back to Palm Coast. Of course, I grew up here, but when I got back, I got introduced to you, and since then, I mean, we've created a really good relationship. I really appreciate it.
Definitely,
it's been awesome. A couple of questionable rounds of golf have come in between.
Very questionable,
but it has been fun nonetheless.
Yes,
part of networking, right?
Oh, definitely. We've had a lot of laughs, including on the golf course.
Yes.
Every other shot.
Sure.
Sure.
I tend to like to go fishing into the woods. It's a good it doesn't work for my statistics on golf, but
right. So, Vinny, wanted to bring you on for a lot of reasons, but the biggest one is because you are such a great networker. How has networking really helped you in your business success?
So, wow, it's that's a pretty broad question. Sure, a lot of people, kind of think about this on a daily basis. How networking can really affect your business. I was asked a lot about, why I'm not on social media by a lot of people,
including me,
including Mr. Thaddeus,
including me.
I got about 30 others. It's okay, it's 35,000 maybe. But the biggest thing too is that the power of networking is so. There's nothing like it. I mean, that one-on-one that you get to have to learn about somebody else. I think that's the biggest thing. You learn a lot about other businesses and other people. I think that's a big thing, because when it comes to what you do and how you network, right? Like that's a big thing. A lot of people say they see me all around town, they see me here, they see me there. But it's not necessarily about that. It's more or less, what you do with that work when you because the net, right, is all the people that you meet. The working is how you work that net, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So when you do work it, I'll never forget this story, and this is how I realized how networking really affects your business. Is when you and it was when I was in Orlando, a guy named by the name of Bill Dement, hole in the wall drywall repair. Awesome company, multi-million-dollar company. I was in a local BNI chapter that I was a part of, and he came up to me and he goes, Vinny, I want to meet you. I want to meet you for a one-to-one. I said, oh, God, great, sounds good.
Right.
When do you want to meet? And he was like, well, how's next Tuesday work? I was like, great. He was like, I'll see you at 7 a.m. And I said, and of course, I'm 27.
Banker and a future banker's hours.
Right. So the 7 o'clock meeting, I was like, wow, okay. And I was like, please tell me there's at least coffee. And he was like, and he goes, well, we're going to meet at Denny's. And I'm like, okay, all right. So, okay, coffee, I guess. But I looked at that and I was like, wow, okay, he's very serious about this. And, in the moment I tried to counter offer him with 8:30 or 8 o'clock. And of course that didn't fly. So we met at Denny's. And it was funny because he talked and he started asking me a lot of questions about my business.
Okay.
And it wasn't as much as he wanted to know about my business. It was more or less to see, so I can see how powerful it is when you have a strong one-on-one, when you're trying to figure out about that other person. I retained a lot of information about him as well. But the one thing that he told me was, there's a reason why, we're so successful in where we are. And there's a reason why the relationships that we have are so good. And I really want to let you know that you have to listen, and of course, we all know, the people that do know me know that I do like to talk a lot, but,
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, just a lot. Yeah. This podcast can't contain this amount of talking, but we'll find out. We'll find out. But he literally said, ask questions. Spend that 30 minutes not about yourself. Ask the other person about themselves. Ask them about what their likes are, their interests are. Find relatability. And then on top of that, find out about their business. Learn about how you can refer to them. I mean, there's, it's something about giving that time for somebody else that makes the difference in how you network. And that was a game changer for me in networking, going out there and having these effective one-to-ones. And, sometimes you don't talk about business. Sometimes you're just talking about, life and what you're going through. And, when it comes to the referral, yeah, of course, Trustco since 1902, right? It's a cool slogan, but, the biggest referral that I want, people to look at is like, hey, go see Vinny and his staff, go see the team, Andrew, Angie, Austin, they're really great, because that means the product is the product, but the person and the people that are behind the product are so much, take it to another level.
Absolutely.
So.
Trusted and true since 1902. That's ingrained in my memory. You brought up a couple things that Thaddeus and I have talked about before. You kind of talked about strategy and talking about work, that it's networking.
Yep.
You just don't show up and pass cards around, and that you ask questions. You do the giver's gain philosophy, getting to know the person.
Right.
Any other strategies you want to mention about networking that's helped you?
I think time management, right? That's very important. With how much networking that you do on a daily basis, trying to mitigate that while also creating a life balance. I will tell you this, I do not network most of the time past 6 o'clock. I'll say that on air. It's one of those things where I feel personally I have to have a cutoff time.
Sure.
And if I give a lot of time towards networking between 7 and 6 p.m., that's enough time to generate enough business and enough relationships to where afterwards I don't need to go grab a cocktail afterwards. I can go go home to for us, I got a beautiful cat that's at home, and she annoys the heck out of me.
She runs the house, I can tell you that.
She does, believe it or not. Yeah. So just so you know, I have Eagle Pest Solutions, and they're fantastic. This is not being paid broadcasting.
You're a smart person.
Yeah, I know. They have a Golden Eagle program. I love them so much. They also, take care of my branch. So, they're, just incredible. But, but at the same time, it's one of those things where the life balance aspect of it is such a big thing,
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
One of the things I notice about both of you is you both have life balance. I don't. People out there, I don't have life balance, but I think success should lead to that.
Right. The boundaries that
Right.
you create for yourself and for others, the best people that will send you the most referrals, and the best people just in life, that you have just quality relationships with, are the people that respect those boundaries. I think that's the thing. The ones that try to keep pushing you and keep pushing you and keep pushing you to do something, I don't find that, for me, a reciprocal relationship. In the end, there are certain things that I will do, and there are certain things that I won't do. I know it almost looks impossible because I'm, seeing how much we do network. but at the same time, it's, I do have my limits, and I think that's, there's something to be said about that.
Absolutely. A couple things. What you said about time management. People that know me know I'm good at time management, but
I can never schedule a tea time with him on a Saturday. It's okay.
right, because he's a banker and won't get up early to play.
It's accurate.
But
I tend to sleep in on myself.
But I usually get up around 5 in the morning, and I go until about 5 in the evening, in the same thing. And then it's about family time with my wife, my Gizmo, who runs our home for sure,
right.
as well as Tony, our cockatiel bird that we have.
Talks back, I'm sure, a lot.
He's mouthy. But time management is very important. I've noticed a lot of business people struggle with it.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing. I mean, I really think that priding your time, because a lot of people feel like they need to get business, and to get business they need to get in front of as many people as they can. While some of that is a little accurate, just so this way you can get your name out.
Right.
Getting the authenticity of a person, the real person that you're meeting with, is so much more important. And if you're meeting people stressed and and filled with anxiety, you're not getting that same avenue of who that person really is. Right. And 93% of all communication, I will repeat it a million times, is nonverbal. And when you nonverbally see somebody who's going through a lot, you want to sympathize with them first of all. You want to be able to be
empathy.
there.
Yep. Empathy.
Be there for them and kind of, shape, kind of help them where you can. But this is where time management and creating those boundaries is so important, because you need time for yourself.
Right.
You do. I mean, networking, that's, the amount of networking you do, can, yes, grow your business.
Right.
But it also has its pitfalls if you don't mitigate it enough. That too much networking can, definitely, it definitely takes away from what your real reason for networking is. It's just to drive business. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is Jay Shear. Are you a business owner or entrepreneur trying to figure out how to improve and achieve greater results? If so, I'm speaking to you. I provide the tools, coaching, and accountability you need to gain clarity around your personal and professional goals, remove the excuses holding you back, build the mindset, leadership skills, and proven strategies to grow your business and become the best version of yourself. To learn more or to apply for my coaching services, call 904-236-0431 or visit jshearbusinessconsulting.com.
Hello, welcome to Good Vibes Nutrition, where every day is Friday. Good Vibes Nutrition was created to provide an environment of self-improvement through health, happiness, and community. Whether it's to lose weight, build muscle, gain more energy, or make friends, think of Good Vibes Nutrition as your Flagler Center hub for healthy living, personal happiness, and long-lasting relationships through the examples of kindness, encouragement, introductions, and pure love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think quality, you talked about people needing to see people.
Right.
If it's quality, there's a big difference. You can see all the people in the world, but if you're not developing relationships with the right people, it's not really going to help you that much. Where if you're building relationships, like I'm lucky to build a relationship with you, the energy you bring to a room, this podcast studio can hardly contain it, right? Thaddeus?
No.
For
With
sure.
us three all in the same room, I don't know how
Thaddeus, meeting him a year and a half ago, and getting to know him better and better. But how do you do that? It's by meeting with each other, asking the right questions, what you talked about. So it's great you bring that up. Kind of move us into another area, mentorship. So, for example, myself, I've got a bunch of mentors currently. One of the big ones over the since started the business has been Jay Shear.
I agree with that.
And Business Minds Coffee Chat. I've been on his radio show and his podcast, but he's been such a leader and a mentor for me, including time management and being able to say no. Because used to, I'm by nature a people pleaser.
Right.
I couldn't say no.
I'm
But
totally.
at some point, I had to learn to do that.
And that I can completely agree with. And you know me at this point. You know that,
Oh, yeah.
that's where our personalities kind of align, right?
Vinny has no problem telling me no for a 7:30 tea time on Saturday, though.
That's a correction. 6:43 a.m. For the driving range. No, and I'll be honest with you. That's a meeting that I had with Jay. I won't forget about it. I mean, a man that's so optimistic, but at the same time knows his own boundaries, is a person that's living a really good life, and you want to see that, you want to live that.
Right.
Everyone has their challenges, but it's how you kind of mitigate those things and then correct them and learn from them. And the one thing he taught me from that perspective is that's where the life balance starts, right? Is when you start saying no, and you start, creating those, creating those boundaries and moving forward. Yeah. Jay has been a definite, he's a pillar in our community. And there's a reason for it, right? I mean, he inspires a lot of people, because, if anything, when it comes to networking and generating business, that's the person.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I completely agree with you. I mean, he's definitely been
Big
a really
influence.
big influence. Yeah.
What challenge have you overcame in your, whether as a kid, as an adult, some challenge that you had to overcome to get to where you are today?
So, well, first of all, it's for half of my life, I've had to see the Yankees not go to the World Series. So, I mean, that's been a very challenging time.
You have a shot this year.
Hey,
we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Considering this is November 4th air date, so we'll see what happens.
Right.
I mean,
we can't talk too much about it because of that.
Yeah. Either way, I'm just glad to see the Yankees in the World Series. Whatever happens, and I'm sorry for your Cardinals ahead of time.
Thank you.
It's okay. If you know Brad, he's a big Cardinal fan. So yeah, I mean, a biggest challenge for me, I mean, really diving deep into it, was I had a stutter problem, and growing up, I had to go see a speech therapist for it, and it took me until I graduated high school, and met my wife, and we were going to college, and I actually studied communication, and I thought, again, you never think that you're going to do something that you do in college, and and you think that that's what you want to do, but I wanted to be a journalist, and go figure, I learned a lot about myself in that process, and I don't care what you say, the people that go to college and don't go do the career that they put into, that time that you have in college, you learn a lot about yourself. And I think that had a big effect on my adjustment to getting out of the stutter.
Sure.
I mean, believe it or not, it took me about 5 million hours to really complete a sentence, because I would be really stuttering and trying to get into it and I learned to take a breath and just try to really hone in on it. But growing up in Palm Coast, I mean, that's also been kind of a, it's a triumph for the challenge at the same time,
Sure.
A lot of times when, like I was gone for 5 years, living in Orlando, and, you come back, and, the reception for our grand opening, which actually just embarked its third anniversary. So it's been a really, it's been a really great and receptive. But again, just like we go back to the balance of saying no and creating the boundaries, that's been a really big, it's been a really big challenge. But again, when you do that, and you create effective communication, that's the essence of what you go through.
Right.
Most of the time in my life, if we really want to stem back, my mom was a single mom, and she really was the pillar in my life.
Sure.
I mean, watching her grow and her do, I mean, going from a position where we were going house to house growing up to her buying her first house here in Palm Coast.
Awesome.
That was a big thing, watching that, and it inspired me to be where I am today. I really don't think that I would be in the banking industry as where I am with that inspiration if it wasn't for something that I saw my mom do all those years ago. go from somewhere to where she is now.
Yeah, that's a great story. Your mom was, it sounds like, your first mentor that you learned a lot from.
Yes, and it was through action. And there is no, it is the oldest thing that has been said in the books, and every one of us have been told this in our childhood. Actions will always speak louder than words. We always talk about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, but when you just see someone do what they do to overcome the challenges that they go through, financially, personally,
Right.
like this is why I love what I do. It's getting the chance to, I lived it. So it's really
That's great.
cool.
That's great. It's hard. Someone listening to you would think you had a speech issue. A lot of people say that about me as well, and that's part of how Vinny and I bonded as well. We both had speech issues as kids, major speech issues. So I think it's a lesson on how you can overcome a lot of challenges in life.
Right.
We got a little bit of time left. Last question for you is your advice to someone out there looking to grow their business through networking. What would be your best advice for that person?
There's so many pieces, but I'll leave it, and I'll leave it short, which is impossible, but I'll try. So I would just say, go out there, explore these networking groups. There are plenty out there. You have to research and go and find those networking groups. And when you do, find the one that is extremely effective for you. And networking goes beyond networking groups just in general. I mean, just go and find those people that complete you as a person, in your business.
Right.
As well as personally. I mean, honestly, like the relationships that you gain are so impactful. If you can, find those relationships and just ride those, it'll create a referral relationship that is reoccurring. I try to roll my branch as if it's as if it's like a local auto shop. Where people come in and you create that reoccurring business, create their relationships, and make people feel at home when they come in. And
Absolutely.
And that's the way your networking should be, no different. Obviously with the boundaries, right? You want to just talk business where you get the chance to talk business.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, really, the networking group is the base. The people that you meet and the relationships that you grow is the building, right? That's the building that grows your business. And if you want to create an empire, that's where it starts.
That's awesome. Great analogy there, Vinny. Yeah. Thank you for being on the Ego Network podcast.
Thank you, Brett, for
You've
having
been
me.
great. I think you're an inspiration to a lot of younger folks,
Hey.
High schoolers, college age, to see what they can accomplish in their life for sure. So
Anything.
Thank you for coming on. Vinny, Trustco Bank, Palm Coast. Next episode, we'll be having Mr. Connector Mike Dranham with Good Vibes
that's
Nutrition.
good.
So that should be a great show. I want to thank Thaddeus for helping. We couldn't do this without Thaddeus.
Thank you, Thaddeus.
Appreciate it. We'll see you
you're
next time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, folks, this has been another episode of the Eagle Network podcast here at the Flagler Voice Studio. That was an absolutely fantastic episode. The guys here just really let it roll off the tongue. Great conversation, and that's exactly how it should be. So make sure you guys look out for the next episode. Michael Granum with Good Vibes Nutrition in Palm Coast. If you've never been, you're missing out. But look forward to the next episode. We'll see you next time.